Good morning. How is everybody? Happy Monday morning. Good morning, everybody. We'll let everyone catch up with the fact that we are live. There go the notifications. We are live. It is time for the Monday morning edition of the Coffee Chat Show. Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right. We will let everyone catch up with the fact that we are live and online, and then we're going to dig right in. So, welcome to the Coffee Chat Show. Welcome. That was Tracy texting me. Hi, Mary. Welcome, everybody. I look a little rough this morning. I had a really bad bout of food poisoning last week. It was rough, and it took pretty much almost a week to recover from it. So, 0 stars, do not recommend. Yeah. So anyway, here I am. I'm doing the show. I'm feeling good this morning. I look terrible. You guys will just have to live with it. It's not about me anyway. It's about what I'm teaching. So we should be good. So I apologize for my appearance, but I just couldn't get myself together in time this morning, folks. That's just how it is. All right, we're going to start the podcast recording. Okay. So, last week I told you that if you joined the group, the Uplift Women group that's off of the Working Coach Mom Facebook group, that I would drop a bunch of collateral in there on how to work with. So, for those of you that don't know, we are working with Jack Canfield's book, The Success Principles, over the next, probably going to take us until the end of the year. So that's what we're working with on Coffee Chat on Monday mornings. And I have all these things to give to you guys, and I didn't upload them because literally Monday after I did the show, a few hours after that, I got hit with this thing and pretty much didn't feel like myself until yesterday. So, okay, Principle 1 was take 100% responsibility for your own life. Principle 2 was... Okay, let's see. Principle 2 is be clear why you're here. So we were talking last week about your life purpose statement. So I don't know how you guys did with that. I have mine. I don't know where I put it, so I can't read it to you. So I will share that in the group. I'll share it in the Facebook group. Number 3 is something that we talk about all the time. First of all, I hope everyone had a great Mother's Day. We planted all day yesterday, flowers and stuff, literally from 9 in the morning until 5 o'clock yesterday afternoon, which is also why I have really low energy today, combined with last week's events. We are going to Boston, and so we will be in Boston. We leave on Thursday, and we'll be there to do a live event next Saturday, so that's exciting. So I'm looking forward to that, a live free Choose Happy event. And I am bringing back the blog. I'm going to start writing again, so stay tuned for more information on that. Hi, Missy. Hi, Janet. Good morning, everybody. All right, so pardon my appearance, food poisoning, do not recommend. 0 stars. Principle number 3, decide what you want. Envision your ideal life. I talk about this all the time, and I feel like we can't really talk about it enough, because so what Jack Canfield does in this book is he just starts to build on, the most basic principles and then moves forward. So number 1, before you can change your life, you have to take responsibility for everything that you have in the soup. It's all your responsibility, okay? There's nobody to blame. There's nobody to put it on. It's you. You got yourself to where you are. Wherever you are in your life right now, we got ourselves here. We got ourselves here. So, Janet, thank you. I'm good. I just look terrible, but I feel good. We got ourselves where we are. Once we take 100% responsibility for that, we then have to decide, what are we here for? What do we want to make our life about? What is our life about? What do you want your legacy to be? What is the purpose of your life? That's a big question, right? You may not answer last week's question and this week's question. These are not questions that you're going to answer just like that. This is something to really consider. And here's why. Because until you consider these things and come up with a established answer for both of these things, we can't move you forward. If you don't know what you want, if you don't know what the purpose of your life is or what you want your life to be about, then we really can't move you from where you are to where you want to go, because you don't know where you want to go. So here's some questions that Jack Canfield asks in the book about your ideal life, deciding what you want. Were you brought up to dream or to follow directions? I think this is a really one of those questions that you live in for a little while. Were you brought up to dream or to follow directions? And how are you approaching your life right now? Are you really thinking about what's possible for you? Or are you living in a construct of what you think is possible for you? Let me explain. If we come from a place of anything is possible, that means no restrictions, no limits. We are free to consider any possibility. When you ask yourself, what do I want? Are you answering that question from a place of anything is possible? Or are you answering that question from a place of, I already know how far I can go? For instance, if you're 40 right now and you always wanted to get your MBA, but you haven't even gotten a college degree, when I ask you what you want, are you living in that you could get your MBA, or are you living in, oh, I've not attended any college and it's too late and I'm too old and I don't have the time and I don't have the money and blah, 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 blah. That would be coming from a place of limited possibility. So if I asked you to take off those limited constraints and I said to you, decide what you want and decide that from a place of anything is possible. Take off all the old constraints you've put on yourself and ask yourself the question, what do I want if anything is possible? What do I want if anything is possible? The answer to that question is going to be different if you don't come from a place of constraining yourself to thinking within the box that you already have created. Because right now, most of you have this box that you consider to be your possibilities and your life and what you're able to do, and it's like this. And so when I ask you the question, what do you really want? You only are thinking inside of here. This is all you can consider. And I'm asking you to blow that off and consider it from anything is possible. Another question that Jack Canfield asks in here is, do you feel uncomfortable when asked, what do you really want? So when someone says, what do you really want? Do you feel like you can't answer that question from a place of dreaming and seeing that possibility exist and that anything could come from anywhere? Because we don't live like that, by the way. We don't live like this is a world of abundance. We don't live like there's plenty of everything. We don't live like anything is possible. We live like we already know. We live like there's limited resources. We live like we can only go so far. We live like if you're a certain age, you can't go here and you can't do this and you can't do that. And so what we do is we live life like the older you get, the less is available to you. And I call bullshit on that. I call bullshit. Because, oh, we have a troll, really? Sorry, guys, I just had to ban that person. Okay, so we live from a place of the older we get, the less is available to us. And although sometimes you live like the older you get, the more that you could get economically, people feel like as they get older, their physical prowess, is weaker and blah, blah, blah. Their mental capacity, blah, 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 blah. It's really bullshit. It really is. There are proven studies on both mobility for the body. So the more that you continue to practice mobility and stretch your body and teach and train your body, the further your body will go for the longer amount of time. And the same thing with the mind and the brain. So the truth is that your age there's no limitations here on anything. So scratch all the limited ways of thinking, scratch all the limitation. And ask yourself, what is the vision for your damn life? What do you really want? If anything was possible, what would you chase? If you couldn't fail, what would you chase? If you knew that you would succeed, what would you go after? Again, with the vision, right? Here's the thing about the vision. If you don't know what you want, if you don't have a vision for your life, then there's absolutely no way that you could create the circumstances to get you there. So that's why this we're going to call this like these first few principles are really the groundwork of like what comes after that. Because to be successful in your life, to get yourself from where you are to where you want to go, you A, have to tell the truth to yourself about how you got there, which is taking the 100% responsibility for your life. And then B, you have to be able to language what the hell your life is about or what you want it to be about. And now C, you have to be able to say what you want. If you can't say what you want, then how the hell are we supposed to help you get it, right? How are we supposed to help you get it if you can't say what you want? So Grant Cardone is famous for 10 times thinking. Jack Canfield is too. So 10 times thinking is to take your income, your career, your network, everything as it is right now, and envision it 10 times that. And then what does that look like? What does your financial situation look like if you times 10 it and think about it in that way? So for instance, if you're making $10,000, what happens if you make $100,000? What does that look like? What are you doing in that life? Where are you going? Who are you hanging out with? What are your circumstances? Start to think about your life as if it has no constraints. Because you know what? It doesn't. The constraints that have showed up in your life and that are in your life right now in this moment, the things that are like shackling you down are all appeared in your mind first, and then you believed them. So the only thing that's keeping you from having the life that you want is you. And I know I say this all the time, and I know it probably sounds like a broken record, and so be it. Because I don't think that people really understand what I'm saying. Because if you understood what I was saying, you would literally jump out of bed every morning with euphoria, because you would realize that you are the author of your life. You are the person that's creating your own reality, and you literally can create anything that you want. So you would run and dance to the shower every morning because you would be so excited about the possibility of today. How many people are getting up like that right now? I bet not a lot. I bet not a lot. So I would encourage you, we just had Mother's Day, and I hope everyone had a good Mother's Day. We tend to put ourselves last and put everyone else first. And then we tend to tell ourselves that we don't have time to take care of ourselves, or we don't have time to ask for what we really want, or we don't have time to figure out how to get it because we have to take care of everyone else under the sun. So I would encourage you to really think about what you want and think about, what do you want to weigh? What do you want to drive? Where do you want to be? Where do you want to live? What do you want your bank account to look like? What do you want your relationships to look like? What do you really want? And this is not a question to answer in 5 minutes. This is like, get a notebook and start writing this shit down. You cannot bring it into being if you can't even language it. If you can't even answer the question, if you can't even say it, then how the heck are you going to be able to create it? What do you really want? What happens if you 10 times your income? What happens if the balance in your checking account is 10 times what it is right now? What happens if your annual salary is 10 times what it is right now? What would you do? Who would you be then? Really, anything is possible. The limits are all, we place the limits upon ourselves by our thinking. So I will just leave you with, if you really want to dig in and you want to work these success principles and you really want them to make a difference, then grab a notebook, go back and listen to the Coffee Chat Show, the first one in May, and then last week, and follow along and really do the work. Dig in. You have a chance to really get the work done here on yourself, because why not? Why wouldn't you design a life that you loved? Why would you want to live one more second unhappy, frustrated, not making enough money, not weighing what you want, not having the life that you want? Why would you want to wake up and not jump out of bed and be excited for the possibility of the day? Why not? Why wouldn't you start asking yourself, what do you really want? And I'm asking myself these questions too. What do you really want? What do you really want? Possibility exists everywhere. You just have to open yourself up to that. Tracy's reminding us of that. You have to open your mind to the place where possibility exists, and there's just endless possibility, and you can have whatever you want. If I told you that you could have whatever you want, what would you want? Something to think about. All right. I hope you guys have a great week. I'm going to say goodbye to the podcast folks here. And Facebook fam, we will see you next Monday morning. I hope you guys have a great week. I hope you really think about this. I hope you really think about answering the question, what do you want for your future? You have to decide what you want, so then we can make a plan to get you there. Have a great week.